You graduated as
associate
degree in
culinary arts.
Nice, nice.
And I have worked as a chef for a little bit, but truthfully, that life isn't for me, and I don't live the life that a chef demands. And it's very hard, it's stressful, it's just not there for me. So I quit that, and I still use it because I still need to make money. Right. But I'm 24, still have no clue what I want to do with the rest of my life. I have ideas of where I'm going, but truthfully, I know there's pros and cons to each one. When you graduate, I would suggest that you maybe take a year to just really focus in on what it is. Maybe not go straight in there, especially if you're feeling fear. If you're feeling fear about how you're going to approach life after high school, take a step back, because you got time. You really do.
You do have time. Yep.
Jumping straight into that, now there are pros and cons, because there's pros and cons to everything. If you jump right out, you may not want to go back. And college life may not be for you. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, my dad's a big proponent for trade school. He makes pretty decent money, and he does computers. He didn't get a 4-year degree in that. He also has an associate degree, but he has all these specialties and certifications and whatnot. And so there are so many options, but it is, I remember the verse, though a man has many plans in his heart, the Lord determines his steps. And that verse I really held on to that, because I was in my sophomore year of college, and actually at the end of it, I was going into my junior year of college to be a teacher, and had a pretty significant scholarship, and I was praying God open and close doors, and I really felt this call to go into the ministry, but I had this fear, like, oh no, I'm gonna go into the ministry and I'm gonna be poor. that was my fear, and so I wanted, I had to kind of weigh that out before the Lord. Is this what I want to do or not? And God opened doors and closed doors. Actually, my scholarship, it was a grant, and they just stopped funding it, and I had just enough money saved up to go away to a ministry school. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did. But even still, even when you get to be midlife or almost midlife, I don't think midlife starts at 45, so I have a few years. You still don't always know what you're going to do to the end of your life. You know what I mean? Like, God can change up at any moment.
Yeah, right now we're going through our quarter life crisis.
It's true.
Quarter life crisis is a thing.
An ongoing crisis. I don't know when the middle of my life is going to be.
That's true. That's true too. That's true. No, none of us do. None of us do. So go ahead and speak into that. What was some of your experience after high school, life after high school?
Yeah, I was definitely raised with the expectation that I was immediately going to go into college after high school. Like, my parents saved for me to go to school. I worked hard in high school and got plenty of scholarships to go. And I never knew, being a huge planner, I never knew what I wanted to do. That part was always kind of missing when I looked at my future, like what career I was going to be in. So I wanted to stay local since I didn't know. So I got settled at UT and got into the education program. It's what my mom did. Thought, okay, I like English, I like reading, this is something that I can do. So I did it for 2.5 years, and I really enjoyed it until I actually had to teach. I got in the classroom and I absolutely hated it. I was only doing 10 to 15 hours a week in a school, and I couldn't. I dreaded those days more than anything else. I was working at Chick-fil-A, I was working at my current job now too, which is at a coffee shop. Loved both of those, and I hated going to school. So I took a semester off last year with the understanding that I would go back, but just to take a break. And I did go back. I switched majors and went to business, did that for 1 semester. Didn't really fit that either. So after being honest with my parents about where I was at, they were a lot more lax with me and understanding that, okay, maybe this isn't for you. So working a job at a coffee shop and not being in school is not something that I pictured for me in this stage of my life right now, but I'm very happy with where I'm at, and so there is no pressure to have anything figured out right now, because odds are what you plan is not what's going to happen.
And you're 22.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay. It's going to be okay. But I just know, because when you're a kid, you know, you do have this confidence, like, I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna be, you know, and you have this also freedom, like, I can be whatever I want to be. I can be an astronaut. Like, my kids have wanted to do so many different things, from I'm gonna be a lawyer to I'm gonna be a psychiatrist, or I'm gonna be an astronaut or a firefighter or whatever, you know what I mean? And so, a YouTuber. I'm gonna play video games and make money doing it, doggone it. I mean, come on. My youngest one, he watches this Christian YouTuber. And I have this smart TV up in my bedroom and a Fire Stick now, which has been wonderful. So I have all these cool channels, but apparently my husband has a cool thing with YouTube that you don't have to have commercials and stuff, which I didn't even know until I got this Fire Stick. And he watches this Christian YouTuber, and you could just see him like, I'm going to do this one day. I'm going to be this. And this kid looks like younger than you. Honestly, he looks like he's 12, like no facial hair, and he's like getting paid money to build these things on Minecraft, and then he's going, and I think they call it trolling or something, where they go into other people's Minecraft lands, and he's like blowing up his wife, and like I'm like, this is his wife's stuff, like they're and they're like, yeah,
You
they're
said this was
married.
a Christian?
Like, yes, and they're like, but it's Minecraft, and I'm just like, and they're like doing pranks and blowing up each other's little Minecraft worlds, and I'm just like, oh my God. But Justice is like into it, like, yeah, this is the life I want to live one day.
It's like, I want to blow up my wife's structures.
Basically, I want to be a kid forever.
Jesus, in the name of Jesus.
That's true. That's true. In the name of Jesus. There we go.
Out here smiting houses.
So you guys live in the real world. You know, you guys. I
hope so.
Yeah, not in Minecraft.
I almost exclusively live in my own world.
The Jeremy land. There we go. So, share with us a little bit, as young adults working out there. You know, how do you come across finding ways to share your faith with your friends who may not know Jesus, or may just be starting out in their relationship with God, or may even be anti-religion or anti-God, because that's a lot in the younger generation, a lot in just in America right now. So how do you guys share your faith?
I've been blessed in my adult life with a lot of Christian friends and 2 jobs that have also gotten me a lot in like Christian circles. Like Chick-fil-A is a Christian company, and then the company I'm working for right now is also Christian. So a lot of my coworkers really challenge me, but it's not a witnessing opportunity. I think the witnessing more comes from like customer interaction and then just kind of people in the day-to-day. Things I've learned, your life and the way that you live is your biggest testimony for sure. People are gonna get more from what you do than what you say. They'll remember how you feel instead of what you've kind of said to them. So making sure that you are just always being kind and meeting people with love, living above reproach, just all of these things to make sure that your life is lining up with what you say that you believe, because you will be sometimes the only examples of like Jesus that they will ever see.
Mic drop. All right, Maddie's doing the next devotional. She just like laid it out in a few minutes. That was so good. Like, okay, you said a couple things. One, I want to hit real fast, because I don't hear a lot of young people say this word. And when we were young adults, way back in the 90s when you were born, there was a saying that was drilled into my husband and I: live above reproach. So you tell me, what does that mean to you, to live above reproach?
My mom has really taught me that phrase, especially growing up, and it's just to not even give the appearance that anything you could be doing could be brought into question. Whether your intentions are there or not, just make sure that your actions are pure, your intentions are pure, and that your actions couldn't even lead people to believe that you were kind of, it's hard to explain this, like in the wrong, I suppose.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great, you just nailed it. Like, I was like, wow, that was like you couldn't Google a better answer. So that was awesome. Awesome. Go ahead, Jeremy, follow up with that. Have fun.
Yeah. Like, that was messed up. All right, I guess I'll just close this out in prayer.
That's great.
All right, the 90-10 rule. 90% being Jesus, 10% talking about it. Ooh. That has been my to-go-to thing, because every job I've had has been not a Christian organization, and not even close to it, in the slightest. I worked as a chef and a cook in a place where honestly, we just had a wine bottle sitting right there at the table, and people just took a drink while we were cooking during the service, because that's what we do. Half of them come drunk, half of them come high.
I know, because I just watched a Netflix show on it, so.
And, and that's the norm. That's what I deal with every single day. And truthfully, I've kind of just grown like dull to it. It doesn't really bother me anymore for the most part. But a lot of that 90-10 stuff comes in there is because I don't do that.
Right.
And I've noticed a lot of people in there, a lot more cooks are so susceptible to Christianity. It is amazing what they want to know. All of them are a bunch of just psychologists. They are a bunch of what do you call the word when you do a lot of thinking?
Analytical,
logical. What's the philosophical?
Philosophical.
Every single one of them. But what I've noticed a lot is it's an incredibly accepting community. By me not doing that, it's always like a weird. If you were looking at a black board and there was a white dot in it, your eye would go to that white